Hello, everybody. Hey, Andre. Hey, Evans. Welcome. Welcome to another stream. And I am a little disappointed a little bit in myself. Well, kind of just from I guess the adulting standpoint. It was kind of a busy week at work, and I didn't get to do a whole lot of stuff on the game. Hey, Rolla, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good to have you. Good to have you. Um, but there is some updates. A couple of things that I did manage to do is I refined the underwater world, the water environment a little bit, and or kind of the underwater. When you swim, made that look a little bit better. That more that I like it. This was one of those endless loops that I managed to get out of after a little bit of work, and also fixed kind of the plane flight spline, also the landing, so you kind of get up out of once you fall. Um, there's still like the way the character gets attached to the plane at the beginning of the game that I need to negotiate. But let me show you some of those updates, especially the water, because from a visual standpoint, I was like really happy with the result. And I did do quite a bit of some trial and error, did learn a few things as well. So let me jump into that 1 second here. I need to make this so it's in dev mode. And so we can jump right here where this body of water is at, and here move these along a little bit. Okay, so this is how the water looks. Um, well, I mean the level of it is not set, so it's kind of off. But and let me see. I need to move some of these scatter objects to make sure because they didn't do it properly. So the 1 second. I scatter. Which one are they? Are they called BP underscore IE scatter? All right, let me just reset this real quick. Uh, Here and refresh. There we go. Okay. So, well, so heavens, I am using it, and I'm not really using it, to be honest with you. The only thing that I'm using is the water material, because everything else was just I was first afraid of it being like I think they call it very experiential, like or experiential. So that was one of the things that I was afraid of. But the material looks great. It does have the lumen reflections, which a lot of the materials on the marketplace do not, which is kind of a frustrating thing because they're just made as translucent. And I think translucent, not sure if they fixed it in 5.2, but yeah, so let's just kind of get under the water here. So this is how it looks. Let me crank up the volume. Not sure if it can be, you can hear it. Let me turn off the music here, and I'll try and be as quiet as I can. Because that was the other thing that I try to adjust is the underwater sound. All right, so just turning the volume down a little bit. Um, so yeah, Heavens, Okay, exactly. That's the same thing, just the water material. Hey, Luklin, welcome. The material, are you referring to the surface water material? The surface water is, let me see what the name of it is. It's got kind of a funky, let me one second. Where was it? Water body and the water surface. Yeah, it is called H-Lod water. Um, H-Lod water one. And this is from like the water plugin, right? So it does rely on a couple of material functions, but overall, I think the issue is not so much in the material, probably when they say it's experimental, but not experiential. I was thinking of existential, but experimental. So I think the trouble with it is that it's got all these other elements that it relies on. It sculpts landscape. So I think um, the actual actor, like the water actor, is the one that's might be more experimental than the material. But yeah, the material looks great. I think it does really well. I did tweak it a little bit, so it's I'm not sure how much. There's still most of it the original parts, but um, yeah, as far as the underwater. Um, is um, is concerned, let me see, what's the, oh, it's 8100. So let me actually put it at the, because this water level is where um, how oh yeah, and you see there's some fishes around here, or like some moving uh, little fishes. And there's also like the water bubbles that gets created once you go in the water. Um, Yeah, there you go. There's another one. So that's just a particle effect. But these water plants that they already have the shader nicely set up so it looks like it's on the water. But let me make a quick change to this because I had edited it so the the post process only gets enabled when you enter the water, and so that works a little bit better. But I just wanted to make it so that in the construction script. Um, if it's in dev mode, I want to set it to enabled so we can actually see it. So let's see, set enabled to true. So yeah, there you go. So this is how it looks once you're underwater and above water. There's the water line, and you kind of go underwater, and then there's like there's a few materials like post-processed materials that I tweaked quite a bit that come from a couple of different developers and kind of took some chunks out of one of them and put them into my stuff. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Heavens. Yeah, I'm happy you like it. And if you have questions, we can connect over Discord, and I can share a little bit more of where I got some of the stuff from. Um, Hey, Helion, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Luklin, t totally. I was thinking of that as well. And initially, I was my thought was, okay, I'm gonna just like I have with these landscape materials, like the moss, and then there's grass that has different types of veggies. I was thinking of doing the same thing for this. But in the end, I just kind of gave up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this. Like think I've shown this quite a bit. I'm not sure if there's other people on YouTube that showcase this particular actor as much as I have. But it's um, it's a really useful because this is also how I've kind of populated the. Let me select the water. That's also how I've populated kind of um, some of the stuff on the bottom of the lake. You're seeing the Far Cry inspiration. That's it. It definitely is. Um, and uh, Swimming is something that I've wanted to have for a while because it's something that I've really enjoyed in all the games that I've played, and it's just been on my mind to try and have swimming happening. So when it comes to the cattails or like the reeds, because I'm not sure. I think there might be some cattails around the Quixel ecosystem. I haven't checked, but at least for the tries here, what I'm gonna try and put instead of these rocks are I there are some reeds that I have. Let me see, where's the thing here? Reed. Let me see. I know where it is exactly. Oh, thank you, Lachlan. Appreciate that. Yeah, many thanks. I'm happy you guys like it because that's in the end, kind of the point of this whole thing, right? Um, let me do the kind of just at least in this area, just a prototype, and then I'll show you kind of the start of the game as well and some of the fixes for that. Let me see. Read. Can I find it? Water reeds. That's one of them. And okay, so I can start with this one just to put it on the edge like this. And the nice thing, it looks like it also spawns it on this surface. So I with the ice scatter, I can tell them to exclude that. But for like I'm thinking of like the lily pads and that kind of stuff. If I want to have that on top of the water, just to make it even more so. But for now, let's just try and get like something along the edge here, um, kind of like in this way, and just to have some of this vegetation alongside the edge of the water, and maybe do a little bit more. And there's another one that I use. Let me see where that is. Here we go. And shaders compiling. There. So something like that. That's what I was thinking as far as some of these reeds along the water. And it's also nice to be able to, kind of increase the spread. Where was that? Kind of like that. So that looks actually, whoa. Uh, I am okay with that growing on top of the water. I have to be honest with you. It's not going into the water too far, so it's not like, the exaggerated type of thing. But I think that's gonna work. And thank you, Lachlan. Thank you for making me do this. Okay, well, let's take a look at the flight sequence, and I managed to fix the plane so that it follows the spline. And let's take a quick look at that. And also the player getting up from once you fall down. So let's jump into game mode here. Go into the demo level. All right. So, and the sounds, I need to re-enable the sounds for the okay, so that was a little bit PG-13 there, but just kind of falling down and then you get the initial message and there we go, you get up. The only thing is that water body that I had there, I forgot to set it into because I have one thing that I do have for some of my blueprints is like a dev mode and kind of to be able to switch between when I actually play it and when I actually try to do testing on in the case of the water body, like on the post-processed materials and like the water line and all that kind of stuff. But when you're in like actual game mode, you don't need to turn that. You need to turn that off. So let's take a look at this. And I'm gonna turn off the audio so we don't hear the bleeping thing here. All right, so you're falling and then you just pass out. All right, so unfortunately it's not W for exiting out of the um, exiting out of ragdoll it's in, so I'll just have to correct that. But yeah, so now you're getting up, and of course the initial message was just very very basic what I've sent through. So and, you'll be able to start checking your first mission, and I think this is the first one that I've had. So kind of like, okay, we need to find Jane, so it'll be kind of going that way for a little bit. But um, but yeah, that's kind of basically the start of the game. And let's take a look and do the spawn point or like actually fly a little longer with the airplane and get the place the kind of the drop points in another location as well. The spline is still in progress. Oh yeah, and sorry, heavens, I do have the nature sounds, but the one thing that I did run into, and not necessarily an issue, but something to address, was kind of this funny little thing. So the I had an ambient sound, right, which was for the nature, so we can add that back in. But the thing with that is once you submerge into the water or you go inside of a building or anything like that, I want to be able to control that sound. And I think the way I'm gonna try and address that is by having like a blueprint that controls all the ambient sounds. So basically, there'll be a blueprint in the level that can target. Okay, you know what? Turn on the sounds for the bunker, or turn on the sounds for the exterior. Like the birds chirping and all that. And that is probably going to be based on um, the one of the blueprints I've created a while back to do the transitions or hide and show different levels. So yeah, there you go. So like a soundscape blueprint. That's perfectly it. And so that's why, once you submerge, I want to be able to look up that blueprint and say, okay, you know what? Enough with the birds chirping on the water, and so stop that sound. And that's what I'm gonna try and do, and hopefully I'll get that done today and have it ready by tomorrow. And also fix the one thing that I've been having, or I haven't spent too much time or as much time as I wanted to, is um, the player attachment. So like the player attached to plane. Because right now, if I start the game, you'll see that the hands are all kind of just like terribly looking like that. So that's not what I wanted. And but the thing is, the plane flies on the spline right now, so there's another one like this, and so it keeps on going. Might be a little bit jittery at the moment, so bear with me. Oh, height-based and collision box input to trigger and pause sounds. Yeah, that's actually a good thought. That might be the way to use it as well. I'm thinking that um, I'm gonna try and control the audio based on the position of the player within that box, right? So basically, if you start entering the bunker, for example, um, the farther away you get from the entrance, I'm gonna lower the audio for the birds chirping, and so kind of that's whoa, that's hey, that's a normal airplane. I've seen this happen before. Airplanes do this all the time. Yeah. Anywho, I'm probably gonna get under the the water body now. Yeah, but it's a little bit lower than that. So yeah, the spline is definitely not perfect, but it passes through the level, and that's the main point in being able to place those crash points or jump points, so to speak. Yeah. So those were the updates. I wish there was more, but um, yeah, I do have a long weekend, so hopefully I'll get to do some more work uh, and get that in. All right. Well, and so for uh, for the rest of the stream, what I was thinking of doing is we can actually now that I'm thinking of it, let's get in and work on this blueprint, this this thought on um, that we just talked about with there's like um, once you close into a location, like let's take the bunker for example, you like right at the entrance, you overlap on this one box, and as you get closer to the box inside of the facility, like inside of the bunker area, the noise from the outside, gets lower and lower. So I'd like to give that a shot, see if anything comes of it, and hopefully that'd be good. But first, let's create this blueprint to hold the kind of the environmental sounds, or or other sounds in the level as well. So those two would work in together. There'd be like the world blueprint with the sounds, and then these entrance blueprints for buildings, the water potentially. I mean the water I already know that I when I submerge, so that should be a lot easier. But let's create the blueprint for the sounds. So somewhere in here, let's do a blueprint class of type actor, and this one would be um, Enviro Sounds. All right, so maybe a little bit of blueprinting today. All right, so let's see about this. I'm just gonna keep it started basic for now. I'm just gonna do an audio, and this one's gonna be maybe forest sounds. And let's find which one was it that birds, I think what it was the name of it. Let's see. Excuse me. All right, well, where is this one at? Meadow Wind, no birds, Meadow Wind. Uh, see, I got a number of wind gentle birds. Mm, not quite. There's a number of these. And I'm guessing what we can do is we can create a sound cue and add a bunch of these together. So that way, whenever one plays, then the next one that it plays might be a little bit different. So we can add a little bit of variety. Okay, let's take a look at sounds and the sound cue. Um, environment sounds. Okay, we can try it this way. And where did that go? Oh, environment sounds. Here it is. All right, so let's add a few of these. Birds. Whoa, that was an odd little thing. It's like valley, valley wind, no birds. Sounds like that. Okay. Sounds like static. Yeah, that's definitely for more of a kind of a storm type environment kind of thing. All right, let's try a few of these. Okay, this one could be good. Let's do this one. Let's try this one as well, and maybe a fourth. Okay. And I believe the node for this is a random, and we can add a few inputs in here. And I think you can give them a little bit of a weight, which one you want to have a bit more of chance probably to run. And we'll probably give B01. This one's a full audio, like it's kind of an interrupted one. So maybe we'll do these at 0.6, 0.7, 0.6. Let's try it that way. And in environment sounds, let's apply it to this. There we go. Let's compile. And in my map, I'm going to try and place this one. Sounds. Let's try and place it somewhere where I can easily find it. And also add a, what was that little dragon head that was, kind of made things easier to find, or sometimes harder if there's a ton of them in one spot. Was it, what was it called? Not a widget, it was, oh man. I'll have to think about it. But at least I think there's the little speaker audio that you can kind of see it. It's still pretty small. What was that thing called? Do I have another actor in the world that has that? Not sure if any of you know what it was named, that I can look it up real quick. Mm, I'll try and figure it out. But for now, let's try and see if we can actually hear the audio. So let's go back into dev mode and jump into game. And is it that this one, does one of these needs to be on looping, or which one needs to be looping to be able to get out of, or each one of these have to be on looping? So it seems it only plays one of them. Is it this one that it plays? Okay, some pretty cool bird sounds. But the only thing is, oh, actually, I think it might be, not sure if it's this one, but in the environment sounds, this one here, the sound cue itself, um, nope, does not have a looping. Which one? So one of them played. Come on, just one. So I'm guessing for now at least, I'm gonna try and use the let me see, which one was the one with the that was just a looping one. Let's see. Bear with me for a little bit. Why are these all no birds? I guess we can try using this one. So that way at least we have an ambient sound going on. All right, so that one plays on loop. Now the one thing that I want to try is when I enter the water, and mainly once I submerge, like once I dive, um, and I do have a little thing here set up to create effects or destroy effects, whether you're like in the water or above water. So in here, in this little function, I will try to get this actor in the world. And since it's only one, it should be a lot easier. Yeah, the bubbles are there. I'm not sure if you've watched me test it, but we'll hopefully you'll get to see some of them. And I'll actually increase the number of bubbles, bubbles, to show it a little bit better. So now this one, I'm gonna try and look for the environment sounds. And since it's only one, it's only going to be, oops, not that, but get a copy. And then let's actually do it and create a little bit of a graph here, because there might be some other effects or, kind of decreasing the sound. And system event to um, stop sounds maybe, or stop uh, forest sounds. Let's try that for one. And add another one to start forest sounds. All right. And in my water body, I'm just going to be, this is going to be stop. Let me see if I'm in the right section. Yeah, this is when I destroyed the effects on the water. And so this is actually to start it. And this would be here. All right, so this one should be start forest sounds. All right, let's see how this plays out in the um, when you enter the water. So Heavens, I use get actor of a class a whole lot since I use procedural. Oh yeah, that's totally fine because but with this one there's only, you know what, you're actually right. Um, that's actually a great point to use interfaces, and it's actually really easy. Um, as long as an actor implements the interface, you can call it on that to start the or stop the forest sounds. But for now, let me just I'll just test it like this and see if we can affect the sounds. And I'm gonna be, let's select the water, and it's not in dev mode. Let's go ahead and play in here. Let me crank up the volume um, on the environment and sounds. Just maybe double it a little bit because the water was actually kind of loud. Let's see how this is going to work. Why is that? I did do a 2 on the volume multiplier. Why is that? Does this one not take it? Does this one take from the queue instead of the? I'm wondering. Let's see. That's kind of interesting that the audio, even though I set it to 2, it's not much louder. So it might make it a little bit more difficult to test, but why is that not taking in the volume multiplier here. Let's set it to like a little bit of a bigger number. Okay, that's better. Seems a little louder this time. Even though it's not the best sound. There's like a look sounds like there's a waterfall in the background. I'm not sure how good the audio comes in actually from my speakers. But yeah, so there's normal audio coming from the outside, which is good. And now we can hear um the birds and like the background waterfall, whatever that is. But let me know if you can't hear the audio too well. I can run the setting here in I can turn on the desktop audio a little bit higher if my mic wasn't picking it up. Yeah, let me know. But at least on my end, when I submerge, I am not hearing the bird chirping audio anymore. And speaking of bubbles, the way I have them created is each one of these water bodies can no, they're going upwards. Let me see if I can make a little bit more. I haven't tried spawning too many. Let's see if I can do like 1,000 of these. Or 2,000. So the way I do it is this number of bubbles, they what they do is on construction they create an array of points to where you would spawn a particle effect. And I'm not sure if that's probably not the best way to do it, but they only the particle effect only spawns once you enter it, once you submerge, and it gets destroyed once you surface. So let me see if bumping up the number might have created more. Let's see. Yeah, so there we go. It did create quite a lot more, but I think it also impacted performance from what I can tell. Um, and there's quite a lot. I mean, it's unless there's like a bunch of scuba divers uh, hiding in the dirt, it's probably a little bit much. But yeah, that's kind of how it's how I did it. I mean, it's not unrealistically a lot, but it's just I think I need to tweak the material a little bit so that there's um, they're not that visible, and also kind of the rendering distance maybe to make it a little smaller. So once you surface, they get destroyed. That's why when you submerge, you see that's when um, they get enabled, right? And yeah, so see, like they just start like kind of bubbling around. But yeah, I think 2,000 is probably a little bit too much. Come on, surface already. Huh, this is interesting. Why wouldn't it, oh, I think I might have found a bug with the surfacing. I probably asked this in the past, but you're going to have weather. I am not going to have weather, at least nothing that I'm planning for at the moment. It might be quite a little bit involved to add that in. You know, maybe not too much, but it's just the lighting changes that I need to account for, so probably not really at the moment. It would be something, it would be nice, but I I'm not I wasn't thinking of doing one at this time. Oh yeah, there's something interesting. I think I might have overwhelmed the garbage collection in for this blueprint or you know in general maybe. And I think I was kind of trying to uh, create or destroy too many um, of those particle effects. So note to self. Okay, yes. So the blueprint works, which is great. I'm just gonna need to find a little bit of a um, better sound, you know, and maybe figure out why these ones don't, that kind of the random thing doesn't happen, um, which is I don't really understand it, but because I've worked with the random before, but not with something that would loop, and that's something that I'm gonna have to figure out. Okay, so we did something. Um, oh, Andre, definitely. And I mean, if you're on my Discord, you can definitely post it on that showcase. I think I do have a showcase channel on Discord. Yeah. So that way, at least other people, if other people could see it, they could also you know, comment on it and give some feedback. But yeah, please do anytime. Okay. Well, so we got that blueprint. I think what I'm gonna try and do is with it. Um, oh, you can't keep it. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, just share it with me on Discord or on Discord in private. So, um, totally fine. If that works, yeah, I'd love to see them. Yeah, okay. So what I was saying was the kind of the entrance blueprint, the way I'm thinking about it, is when you enter like let's say you know like this garage, right? You might want to tone down the or you know completely turn it off the volume um, for the exterior audio, and that's um, that's why I wanted to have this environment sound blueprint so I can turn that off. So let's take a look at what that might look like. And I'm going to use something like a blueprint that I worked on a while back to account for hiding or showing levels as you move between them. Yeah, echoes. That'd be nice. Oh, Andre, thank you so much. Right after the stream, I'll check it out and let you know let you know what I think. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. What did I call that? Was it level transition? Hide unhide level or stream level? I believe it might have been the hide or unhide level. So it's a pretty simple thing, But what it does is, um, and this is not necessarily it, but it does have a little bit of a thing here. And so this way you don't have to run it on tick. It can just be you can just run it every like half a second, 0.2 seconds or something like that. And you can determine the distance from the player and whether he's like inside of the building or outside. And that way, if he's inside, you can say, you know what, okay, I'm going to start decreasing the amount based on how far the player is from the entrance. Now, this particular blueprint is only looking at a certain point, and it doesn't have kind of like an entry box. So this streaming level blueprint that I had an entry box, for example, this one could be used as the entrance. So when you overlap with this, um, I'm just going to duplicate this because I think it should be useful as a starting point. And this one would be BP control exterior versus interior sounds. All right, so exterior versus interior sounds. There we go. It's basically just like the stream level thing here. All right, so in the viewport, we have kind of basically the entrance, right? And now we want to add a couple of boxes to this, one that's outside, one that's inside. At least this is how I'm thinking of doing it. This is kind of really running it off the cuff right now. So let's try just also doing a box collision. So this would be um, interior box. And then let's duplicate this and make this exterior. We'll see if this works and if maybe this is not the best solution, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we got the exterior one and the interior one. These need to be quite a lot bigger. Um, let's just kind of increase the size though. I like to keep it with the extent, so let's do it like so. So let's do maybe 200 just to round things out. All right, let's see about positioning. Okay, they're about right. All right, so the way I see this is you coming from the outside. Once you hit the space is when you're gonna start getting basically tracked, kind of your distance from this. If your distance increases and you're inside this box, then we're not gonna care what's in, you're in. Let me see if I can make it. So inside the exterior box, then we're not gonna care what's happening in the interior box. If you're inside the interior box, we're gonna crank up the interior volume and lower the exterior volume. And once you exit this one, unless you enter the entrance, then we're gonna completely turn off the exterior. At least that's, like I said, right off the cuff, that's how I was thinking of doing this. Let's see what can come of this. I'm gonna make this exterior one a little bit bigger. whoopsie, what happened here? Am I doing something in the construction script? Yes, I am. I'm just gonna turn that off. And let's make this one a little bit bigger. So maybe 250 and 250. Oop, not that one. All right, so that's the end, basically the entrance. All right, then let's compile this, and I'm going to place it here just to see how this might be. Try and make it a little bit bigger, like that. Okay. And potentially it could have some variables here, like I have for the box height and width to control how big these boxes are outside. That's definitely a possibility. And let me move the start point to, let me see which one is this one. That's the bunker. I think I'm gonna need this one. So I'm gonna be moving this one to the entrance so we can test it a little easier. There it is. Okay. All right, I'm back into, gonna move this to the side real quick because I do need that distance function that I'm checking. Okay, now in um, in this one here, let's think about this. Hey, Matzy. This is going to be an action adventure kind of game. It's a single player story-driven game. Um, so basically, you enter the world through like other games before me, through a plane. In this case, not a plane crash, but you're going to jump out of a plane and you can jump in a few different spots on the map depending on the plane flight path. If you choose to jump at one point, you can jump and you start the game from there. Right now, I'm deciding whether to give different missions at the start of the game depending on where you jump from. But you're definitely going to reach the objective in different, like your first objective in different ways. So, and you know, there's like the enemies in the game. It's not a horror game, just to mention that, because that's, I think, the first thing that people ask, is this a horror game? It is not. There's definitely kind of behind the story, there is a little bit of a darker type of thing of what was happening in this location. So, but yeah. If you want to see any gameplay, at least like some quick little combat, there's definitely work in progress. Some of it, I can definitely show you some of that. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. So right now we're trying to do a little bit of a transition between exterior to interiors and addressing like the sounds. So when you come from the outside and enter like a parking area, underground kind of thing, we want to be able to turn off the volumes outside, like the birds chirping and all that, and start playing the ones inside. So we'll see how this one's going to turn out. All right, well, let's add some of these overlap events. So begin overlap, and this is the exterior box, and then the end overlap, and then the interior box is begin overlap for that, and end overlap. All right, so right off the bat, I'm thinking I need to have a couple of variables. So one of them is interior box. And then this one is exterior box. So that way we know which one we're overlapped with and we can track it in our kind of the player distance. And of course, we're going to test to see if this is our ALS main character player. All right, so interior exterior box, we're going to set this to true. And the same goes down here. Oh, Andre, right. Let's look at this. Um, so when the player overlaps with this box, with the interior box, and that's kind of the more important, so to speak. So you overlap with the interior box. We know that we want to start tracking the player's distance to the entrance. And based on that, we'll adjust the volume of the exterior sound, versus the interior. So the sounds inside are going to be, when you're outside, they're going to be muted. When you're inside, the the wind, kind of like the cave wind or whatever, um, they're going to be, um, those are going to be going. And for that, let's actually do it in here. So I have the forest sounds, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and this is going to be, let's call this maybe bunker sounds. And this is, again, this is pretty bare bones first edition 0.0.0.1. And so let me find a kind of, I believe I have some kind of like a cave wind or something that could signify that. Yeah, exactly, Heavens, like a gradual increase and decrease. Turn them on and off. Well, that's one way to work it, right? But I mean, I guess when you have a higher speed game, like or a spaceship type thing, it's probably you're not gonna notice. So, but for let's do the bunker sounds. I was saying that I was gonna look for something that's like a. I think I have something like a wind, like a cave, or something alongside. Let's see. Ambient, that's not it. I want to look for, and sorry about that. I just got a notification from work. Like I said, work was a little busy this week, so luckily there's nothing that I need to do at the moment. Okay. Not sure if you can, again, not sure if you can read or if you can hear it. It's it's definitely a cave wind type of thing. Let me see if I can find anything else. And let's reset filters. And I'm going to try and filter on sounds. Distant wind, forest wind. Um, mm, mm, mm. Okay, just so you know that it's high wind. Uh, what was it called? Cave during day, avalanche, cavern. Let's see. Okay, I can see this one. And again, I'm hoping that you can hear some of these. But let's see, what's this? Cave night. Oh, okay. Let me try turning on the desktop audio, And hopefully, let me know if you can hear it now. One second. Hey, Gitish, long time. Yes, welcome, welcome. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll leave that on. I'll leave that on then. I wasn't sure if it's gonna just blast your speakers when because this is this little feature here, this desktop audio. I wasn't sure how well that's gonna come in. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm gonna try and use this one. It's kind of different than um, the exterior sound. So right now it's just implementing this. I'll probably try and find the better ones out there. All right, so we have the sounds. I'm probably not going to implement any function at the moment, but so the idea would be, I'm trying to also process this at the same time, is that let's actually also, I think it might be a little bit easier if um, in order to check the player location, um, to have like an actual reference point. So I'm just going to try and use like a sphere or something. And that's going to be right there in the middle um, as a center point. So just to test the distance to this. Okay, so let's see. The player is going to come from the outside, or in theory, and when it overlaps with this, did I already? Okay, let's set the variables down here. Yeah, and that was the other thing that I was thinking of, just the middle collision box. I'll try and use the point to start with. And this one actually, yeah, I wanted to call this one entrance entrance box like so. All right. Well, let's finish off with the interior. Oh, and I actually need um, the overlaps for this. I do have one, and I don't have the end overlap. So I do have the main one here, and then once it ends. Okay, but I'm gonna need these two so we can track the interior box as well. Hey, Gitish, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing good as well. I'm currently working on the transition between the exteriors and interiors and affecting the sounds. And hopefully we'll see how that's going to work out. All right. Well, um, so when we overlap the entrance box is when we want to start tracing the location. And I am not entirely sure. This is just the work for the levels to load or unload. So I'm just going to move this to the side. Okay, but in here, once it starts overlapping, um, and of course I'm going to need to test to see if it's our player, when it's going to start overlapping with the other actor. This at this point is let's try and get the distance from the player. But all right, so we begin overlap, and let's try and see. Um, we do player entry. We know that we overlapped. Actually, we need to set this. All right, and then the same thing down here. So we know we're passing the entrance. Okay. Um, Now, in begin play, what I'm going to do is, and it might not be the best place to do this, but I can deactivate the timer by event once you exit one of those other boxes. So I'm going to try and check the player location, and I'm going to run it every second. And I'm going to check the player location by getting a distance from the player character to the sphere center point. Um, oh, so this is get distance to actor, and I can only get self, but I think this is going to be, since the entrance is in the middle of it, I think that's where the distance is going to be taken from. We'll do like a quick output to see where that is. All right, so we're going to check the player location, and now if let's do um, we're only going to check it if the player entry is set to true, right? So we've hit the entrance. Um, okay, now it's kind of starting to balloon out of control in my mind at least. Hey, Dark Side, welcome. Game is getting along. Is getting definitely getting along. Now it's kind of some intricacies, not intricacies, but like these little nifty things of controlling the audio, whether you go inside or outside. And it was all simple when it comes to, say, the water, right? I was able to make it so that when you submerge in the water, the outside volume is turned off and you only hear like the bubbling water around you. The problem is when you're completely outside and you just go into like the bunker, like or and you're still gonna hear some of the noises from the outside, right? I don't want to cut them off immediately, and that's where I'm trying to do now. That's that's the thing. Get player character, get actor or world location, distance vector. Oh yeah, I think that should work as well as this one, is what I'm thinking. And um, another thought that came to mind is if this doesn't work out so well, I was also thinking of having just one box and then tracking based on oh, you know what? I'm so silly. I think it might work a lot easier if oh yeah, and that's the thought, Heavens. But what I was thinking, and it might work better, is if this box, like the distance that I'm tracking to is back at the end of the interior, right? So this is inside, and it would be this entire box, like literally this would be not like that, but kind of like that. So think of it like um, this is the outside, and this is the inside. So when you start hitting this point here, and the closer you're getting to this one, the higher the volume of the interior and the lower the volume of the exterior. So I think that might work a lot better. Let's try it that way because I think in my mind right now, I'm seeing this one might work a little bit better that way. Let's see how that works. And it would work the same way when you exit, like when you enter this box, um, and that way I don't have to manage, all these other ones. So just gonna, whoops, Let's just, let's see, what do I want to do with these? Let's just kind of unparent these and kind of move these to the side, just in case this idea doesn't work. But okay, so, and Dark Side, I saw your question. I want to learn game development. What should I learn first, Unity or Unreal? That's a tough question because I haven't tried Unity in a while. The only things that I know about them in the news have been their lately they've had some issues. I'm not sure if not financially, but like they've fired some employees, which okay, but because they're like I think they're like a public traded company now, so they have to answer to shareholders, and at least with Epic, they're I think their majority is still owned by Tim Sweeney, even though Tencent has a big share in them, but at least that's what I remember. When it comes to resources, I don't know how well Unity does, but I know Unreal is really really good. Um, and yeah, but I wish I could tell you more about Unity. It's just that I don't have any experience with Unity, and I'm probably yeah, and like Heaven just said, I'm all for Unreal, and I'm kind of the same way. I'm probably biased towards Unreal as well. Um, And it's not just because I'm coming from CryEngine, right? And Unreal was a big step up forward for me, but or at least step forward in usability, and resources. I'm also looking at it from the point of the marketplace, right? I haven't checked the marketplace um, for what is it? Um, for Unity in a while. So I'm not sure where they stand, how easily they're extendable for that. And yeah, like Heaven's insane. I think it's more of a Unity is probably more geared towards. And as far as games that you see on the marketplace out there, I haven't, I've seen a ton of, and I've played a ton of Unreal games. At least five come to mind right off the bat. That are pretty big games. But when it comes to Unity, I don't recall playing any. So uh, yeah, but again, that's uh, also due to my lack of knowledge. It's not anything to say about Unity. It's just that I haven't checked out their ecosystem too much. All right, so let's take a look. We have the interior box. That's what we were thinking of checking, and we're gonna do. Let's get his interior box. But I'm kind of wondering if it might be good to have this in actually an event tick, you know, like just have it right here. And what this could do is, um, let's just let's just play this out. Let's see what this gets. Print string. Now this is the distance to the actor, but Heavens, you were saying, let's see, where is it? Get player character, get actor, or where location distance vector. So what I'm trying to do is, um, you know what? I think, let's see, I think we can do it like this. Um, get world location, and this one also get actor location, and then I think it's vector length. Or not. No, it's not vector length. I think it's this one minus. We subtract these, and that is if I can vector distance or vector distance. Oh, it's oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so between these two. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. This is one of the things that when it comes to, I've always been pretty, not iffy, but um, it's been a bit more of a harder thing to grasp the um, all this kind of vector math and all that stuff. All right, so let's see what happens here. Oh, nice. And I'm not loading the I'm not loading the cave. So let me just load that level as well because there was nothing there. 1 second. Where is this thing? Da, 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 da. Here. With 0 seconds. Well, I wanted to well, oh yeah, so it's only showing. You know what? That's a great point. I did not know. Thank you so much. So this one. Let's see. Nope. Why would I get that screen in there? It is in dev mode. Bunker level. Let's actually not load the bunker level just yet. Just parking garage. And then it goes there. All right, I'm just trying to load that level properly. The way it does this, there we go. Okay. So now that I oh, hey, what's going on there, buddy? Am I at least overlapping? Oh shoot. I don't think I used the right box. I think I was using the, let's see, this one's the interior box. My bad. Using the wrong part argument there. All right, let's try this again. Nope, still nothing. Yeah, so it is. It would have been from the event tick, but it's kind of interesting that it does not. This one doesn't fire. Let me quickly move this to the side. And try and run the overlap again. Okay, so it overlaps it. But the weird thing is that Um, the event tick is not firing. Let me see if, did I disable? Oh, okay. Well, it might have been that start with tick enabled was unchecked. So that could be one of the issues. Let's go at it again. All right, so we're overlapping the interior box. There we go, nice. Okay, so we get the distance to this little thing here. And I'm thinking based on that distance, we can try increasing the interior sounds and decreasing the exterior ones. Okay, well, let's see how that's gonna work. Where's my thingamabob here? Okay. So we got the distance. Um, let's see if I believe there's like is it normalized or what was the thing? To normalize not a float, normalize to range minim and maxim. Hoping this would be it. So let's do range max of 2, truncate. Let's see what this one does for a value. If it's gonna, because I haven't used it, so it's one of those tomatoes videos from like Matthew Watstein. um, let's see if this one is gonna start. Where does it start? Oh, not quite. It still shows the distance. I thought I connected it. Normalized to range. Doesn't really seem to be doing the thing for the thing, you know? Um, but I think like either yeah, let's try truncate. But was it um is it truncate or I think a truncate does it as an integer, but maybe clamp float. Um, let's see, what does this say? Between clamp between A and B. Um, hmm. Let's see. What does the Googles say? Uh, oh, let's see. I think it might be normalized to range. Map range clamp, or let's see, was it map range? I'm not sure if it's, but I think it's the range. But I think it's because there's a range to set it normalized to range. I think, or did we try this one already? I think we might have tried I think we tried the normalized to range, right? So 20 normalized to range. Who's writing these? Oh my God. 20 normalized to the range 10 to 50 will result in 0.25. Oh, I see. So I think I see. So range minim and maxim, let's do, I think that was like 2000. Yeah, let's see. Oh, map range does that. Okay, sorry, I just saw that, heavens. So I think might still behave just like, oh no, actually this one works as well. So works quite decently, I think. Yeah, okay. That could work. The only thing with this is that it's not always going to be the same because of this distance. I think map range clamp might do a little bit of a better work, so I'll try and see if that one's going to work better later on today. But for now, we do get a kind of a normalized range from 0 to, or almost 0-ish to 1. And I think at this point is where we might make use of the other two boxes. And namely because, so if we go and look back at this, where is it, the viewport? What I'm thinking is there's going to be this big box where when we're inside, we're going to test the distance. And then there's going to be a box at the end that's going to completely shut off the exterior sounds because even though the distance is like so, um, we don't really know if you exited outside or if you're, still inside or you go off to the side to like a different area maybe. Um, but for now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that value when you exit. And if it's greater than zero point 0.8, let's call it, we're just use like an arbitrary number. If it's greater than zero point 0.8, we know that you're outside and we're just going to play the exterior sounds. If it's less than, say, zero point 0.3, we're just going to play the interior sounds. Hey, welcome, Gurkhan. How are you? So I'll just try it that way and see how that works. All right, so let me just kind of move these out of the way here. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. We're working a little bit with some sounds and trying to adjust the audio based on whether the player is inside or outside. So play like the foresty sounds and then kind of play the interior sounds if they go inside. All right, so let's do a little bit of a greater than. So if it's greater than 0.8, I think on begin play, just going to try and get the environmental sound so we know who, excuse me, we know who to target. And a copy. And then we're just going to promote this to a variable. So this is going to be sounds. All right, so I'm wondering if you can do like a greater than with a switch. Not sure if that's possible, but let's see if it's greater than 0 0.8. Then we're just going to do the environment sounds. Um, and this one was just gonna do, we're gonna try and, because I need to try and just do it once, you know? So the only question is, how do you reset this? But I think we can do a reset once you completely exit the boxes. So then this one, let's do, so greater than 0.8 means you're outside. And what this one's going to mean is we're just going to stop the interior sounds. What did we call this? Bunker sounds. Probably not the best name for it, but so we're just going to stop that. And then forest, start forest sounds, I guess, since we have the function. All right. But if it's false, less than, let's do 0.3 maybe for now. We're pretty much going to do the same thing. So branch. So if it's less than 0.3, we're just going to do once. For the environmental sounds, bunker sounds. So we're going to start playing the bunker sounds, which in our case right now is just a little wind making noise. And then we're gonna stop the forest sounds. Now the tricky part, let's test this out first. It's definitely highly unoptimized right now, pretty terrible looking. So off of the false, it means that it's just going to be between these. I'm not sure if there's like a like a node that tests greater or less than. No, greater or equal. In range. No, yeah, but you can test to see if it's outside of the top range or the low end range. So let's just keep it like this, kind of simple for now. Okay, and let's test this out. See if we can actually, well, first of all, stop the exterior sounds and um, play the bunker sounds once we're inside. All right, so let me crank this up a little bit. So we can hear the exterior sounds. Okay, well, that stopped. It's just that let's go outside and see if it plays again. Uh, not right, not really. It did stop it, which uh is something. The only thing is, let me stop this real quick and I'm not sure why I wasn't printing the value anymore. Let me try doing that again. Yeah, and that's what I was going to use next as the volume, but I also don't want to have a low volume and have that still playing, which could be an option, like the exterior sound still playing when you're in the bunker. So let's see about, I'm trying to look at it on my second monitor. Oops. Yeah, so okay, we got the exterior sound. Let's take a look at the distance. All right, so the distance is up, is going down. Okay, so it did that. It played the, and it did that once. Oh, but the thing is, I'm not, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier that I forgot. This could be done right here. I can do the reset for these because I'm already testing these distances, so it should be fine that way. And since we're here, we can also do the volume for these. And let's just grab them like so. So we have the bunker sound and the forest sound. Okay. So this one's going to have set volume multiplier for each one of those. Now the question is, how are we going to set it in reverse? Right? Does that make sense? Like, because one of them is going to have to go down and the other one is going to have to go up. And with the distance decreasing, this could be the one for the forest sounds, since it's decreasing the volume as we go inside. But how do we do the bunker so that it goes up? Do we want to have another one of these entrances like sphere center or like this little thing at the entrance? Or can we work something out from this guy here? Like as you're closing in, that's an interesting little little thing. Um, how to handle the sound going up. Hmm. Without because I don't want to add a value to it, if that makes sense. So, these would be linked like this, and they should be firing when we're in that range. Um, but we also want to increase this. Um, let's get, let's duplicate this, at least for now. I'm going to try and figure out, I'm not sure if there's a better way, kind of a smarter way to do this. So let's call this sphere entrance point. That will be at the entrance, and we'll just use the same thing. Probably not the cleanest, but let's see how this is gonna do. All right, let me move this off the screen so I can see the things moving around and give this a shot. And I always forget that the audio for the car is really loud. Okay, so we got the exterior, the birds chirping and all that. Oh, that was, yeah, that actually works. Like you've, hopefully you were able to hear it as well. Like the noise from the outside kind of kept decreasing. The only thing, uh, is that I am not starting to play the forest sound once we enter the box. So, and also the bunker sound for whatever reason is not playing. And why is that? Let's see. Oh, interesting. I think I might have figured out what was going on. So in here, when we enter the box, we start detecting the distance. And if it's greater than zero point 0.8, which at the beginning it's going to be, um, we're stopping the bunker sound, which shouldn't be the case. It should be, of course, when you exit. But uh, right now, I think this is wrong. We shouldn't be stopping this. So I'm thinking once we're in this range between the zero point 0.3 and zero point 0.8 distance, I think we should play both of them and control the sound. So let me try and like this and see how this is going to work. Sequence of first and do a do once where we're going to play both of them. So this one, and as well as this one. Oops, that was loud. Let me turn off Discord. Okay, so I'll need to figure out when to reset this one. But for now, let's see if this helps with our and oops, this one, the environmental sound is the one that has the event. Um, and the bunker sounds. What is missing with this guy? Let's see if this helps. My bad, I forgot how loud the engine is. Oh, no worries. I haven't gotcha. All right. Well, so we have the exterior sounds playing. And they start decreasing. But the only problem is that the bunker sounds are not uh, playing, which is which I don't get. And to be honest, looking at this, this should be playing from the beginning. Like when you jump into game mode, are you not, is it not able to play two audio components? Let's see, is there a difference between these two sounds, these two cues, sound cues? So this one has this modulator along with it, which shouldn't impact it. Okay, it's also looping and everything. Turn this down a little bit. The output. There's nothing that's different there. Than this one. Let's bypass this modulator though. I don't think it would be, should be an issue. The good thing is that it does decrease the sound as it should. The only problem is that it never, interesting. And it plays the um, the sound again once you exit, and also goes up. I'm not sure if you can hear it over the audio. The only thing I can't understand is like the bunker sound. Hey Wolf, welcome. Uh, it's going pretty good. We were testing some of the exterior to interior transition and the sounds. Like this. It's pretty rough at the moment, but it's based on the distance of the player from the entrance to this point inside. So the functionality is mostly in place. There's definitely some refinement that I need to do. Um, once I get everything lined up as far as kind of all these this sequence of things here, like whether it's greater than zero point 0.8, then we only do once to stop it and to start the forest sounds. I'm not sure if I have them quite in the perfect order, so I'll try and figure this out later on this afternoon, and should be I hope to be able to come up with a solution. And also the other thing that I said that hopefully by tomorrow's stream I'll try and have in place is um, the the character attached to the plane when you start the game, so you can see the hands and like when you move them around, um, and get that through. Oh, thank you, heavens. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm really happy how that turned out. I did spend probably a little bit more time than I wanted on it, but I was just like I was on a crusade, so to speak, with that, and I just wanted to get that in. And um, so, or at least because it was so close, it was just a little bit of push that it needed, and luckily it got I got it to a point where I'm quite satisfied with it. So thank you. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for stopping by for this stream. I hope to see you tomorrow, same time around noon. And like I said, I'll post an update in Discord and just schedule the stream as well. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and y'all have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you.